Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are playing Command, Modern Naval and Air Operations, and it's finally time. We've prepared quite a couple of episodes now, and this episode we will be taking the airfield over here. We've set up a plan. We've launched all of our planes, and they are all in flight over here. Just to give you a brief overview of what's going on, we have the electronic warfare plane over here. And once it is in position in this area, we will hope that it will distract the defenses over here a bit. Harriers are already patrolling the area, sorry, pardon me, and trying to intercept any planes that would catch us. There's another harm aircraft over here, which will disable the radar down here. And then we do have the a bomber and a Mavericks anti-ground sort of close air support group. Just behind that is the actual composition of the actual strike group, which has quite a couple of paveways here. And over here we do have our anti-air units, and these I think might be the most critical, so we'll tell these guys to be a bit more quick because they're a bit far behind. The actual strike will be launched once this plane here is in position. So let's speed things up a bit. Wait a minute, what launched there? Oh yeah, right. We did also get another group of F-18s to patrol over our fleet, because these guys over here are out of missiles due to an engagement earlier. Anyway, here we go. This guy is jamming, and let me briefly check. Yes, so you can see that the communications jammer and the OECM over here are operational. We can also double check that maybe, does it give us anything about the range on this guy? No, it does not, but that's fine. I'm just going to assume that we are going to be golden. Actually, I'm going to get the mission parameters a bit closer to our zone up here, and then that should be fine. I'm also going to tell you to increase the altitude a bit, just so we can be sure to attack this. Over here, our flight of, let's briefly check what the contact report says here. Yeah, so there's definitely still radar, there are still radar missions going on, and that's not something that we like. So we are going to send just one of our harm missiles down there. That being done, we can send in our main strike group, and we'll just keep them at a higher altitude because I don't think it will be necessary to do that in any sort of different height. There's also a second B group over here, which is coming in. I'm going to tell these guys to refuel with a tanker from our strike force for tankers over there. Yeah, and that's going to be fine, I guess. You can see the harm missile coming in, pretty quick, pretty high, which was very nice. These guys are a bit behind. I don't really like that, but it's not that critical because these guys also do carry anti-air stuff, so it's maybe more of a mop-up, clean-up sort of thing. Here we just like to make sure that these guys do come in the right order, and the first one that I would like to come in is the dump bomber over here. So we are going to tell this guy to speed up a bit. It was actually going way too slow. This guy is supposed to be the second, and this guy is supposed to be the last. So we'll just make sure that yeah, things are going okay here. just to double check the range of this radar, you can see the anti-engagement range is very okay over here. Also, the Maverick, I think we'll probably want to sort of go in between these two fields, just because we do know that there's some stuff that is relevant over there. The radar should have spotted us by now. Over here, the Hornet, which does have it's not a stealth aircraft, so it does have pretty normal radio or radar emissions, I should say. So yeah, you can see this sort of a normal pattern. Going in, you can see it's dropping down now. Still pretty high up though. Deaccelerating, interestingly enough, and now homing in. And there we go. Just make sure these, I think, are the Harriers, just where I want them to be. Yes. Really? Oh no, so they are attacking us. Okay, they are launching anti-air missiles at the harm missile, and it's so quick that it's somewhat unlikely to really hit. And there we go. I think we just destroyed something. Let's just make sure that there are still some emissions going on. A second ago, 0 ago. Yeah, so some stuff is still going on, but I would hope that at least we degraded their ability. Go. I think I'll now tell this guy to be on normal speed, because I'm the most worried about this guy due to the fuel situation. Make sure our other guys up here are fueling up, which I think they are. Very nice. And then we'll just tell them to come in just right away as well. These guys are also closing in, and I think we'll now tell this guy to come in on loiter speed, just so he's a bit behind, probably behind the other guys. That's fine. I just want him to point into the right direction. So. Good. Also in Mahon there's nothing that we need to launch. Let's just double check that. Nope, there's just one harm F-18 that is being prepared. And by the way, these other things here will not ever be available during the mission. It's just that. Can I arm you? Interesting. I'm not sure I can. Ha! Ha! See, I learned something today. The reserve I could have armed earlier, but okay, it's going to be fine. More harm missiles, always more better. As I so eloquently just put. There's also, let's just make sure our other operations aren't degrading. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. This guy will need to refuel at some point, because I don't think it is able to refuel in the air. Nope, it is not. Otherwise, it would have a special ability. Neither the Orion, which is a bit of a shame, really. If that had been possible, that would be extremely great. What are you guys actually doing? Oh, are you really doing that? No. So here's an issue. On the strike. AA West, this mission, we told the Harrier to be on the station, just to make sure that nothing could engage us. They are now. We do have the ability. We allowed them to. Where is it? Reference. We basically allowed them to go chase off other people. But I don't see where. There must be an option somewhere. missed air operations. Right, so there is the ability to chase people out of the mission area. It's not that. Certainly not that. No, no. Nope. Interesting. I don't think it's by default. Well, we'll let them fly for now, but not too much. Also, at least just cruise, please. Anyway, back to our real strike over here. These guys, I'm going to switch to unit view, even though that blows up this bit considerably. But we will at the end want to target a specific installation, so that needs to be done. This guy's supposed to be slightly behind, which is okay, and we will now tell this guy to target the ammo pads, because at the end of the day we wanted to disable this airport by targeting the ammo pads, one being here, and I think one, yeah, there. So I think it was only these three. Let's double check that. Yeah, I think it was 4 targets. It was the fuel tank over here, the ammo pad over here, and these 2 ammo pads. So let's pick the biggest one. We actually checked that at some point, 240 square meters. I think that's all of them are that size, so and that's going to be fine. Let's also double check whether there's any sort of preference on the launch altitude. No, I think that's fine. You'll be very likely to hit it. Yeah, there's no really any sort of preference for any particular height. I think we'll come down to a bit more medium altitude. Right now we're at 13 kilometers, and that's pretty high. Of course, there's a bit of a drawback, if you will, between going in too high and too low. Too low basically means you can't drop your ordnance too soon, but too high means you might not be altogether too accurate, at least for these bombs, because they are yeah, free fall dump bombs. So bingo fuel in 130 miles. We have 40 from target. It's less of a safety margin than I would have hoped, but it's certainly going to be okay. So all of our guys have refueled by now, and so yet again I'm going to do something that would probably not happen in a real war, and that is I'm going to pull in my tankers over the enemy territory. Realistically, you wouldn't really want to do that because there might always be some anti-air that you just haven't spotted so far. Things are going to be very interesting very soon. You're the harm aircraft, right? Do we just want to launch our last missile? I think we want to. Of course, we can still see that this is a threat. This one hasn't been firing, hasn't been observed in a while. That is because this is the illuminator. So these are all target indicators, but that is the actual thing you need to engage. So since we are getting closer to that, I'm going to launch the second harm. I'm actually going to go to max altitude after that. Return to base Winchester. Now you still have the AMRAAMs, so I'm going to tell you to come back, even though I know you were on that mission, just because I want you to come on. Just because I want you to potentially bring to bear your anti-air missiles. You are going to go that way now, and I think is there now. There we go. Insert a missile. There's no launch altitude limitation. So here we go. There's a SAM, so surface to air missile in the air. We don't know where it's heading now, but I would suspect that it's coming in for our missile. Yeah, more of those. Which is what we've seen before, right? We've seen before that our harm was that our harm missile over here was targeted by surface to air missiles. But you can also see that because it's so quick, that the first hit chance of 65% is, even though it's straight on, so that's a good target approach, but the target speed modifier really reduces the probability that they do hit. They launched 2 missiles, both of them missed, so they're going to launch 2 more. Yeah, there we go. Which, I mean, it does help as well. Damn it. So they did hit us in the end, which is a shame because it did not allow us to disable the radar, but we still have so much fuel. Just stop complaining. Of course he's Winchester, that means he's out of missiles. That's not necessarily a big problem. The other thing though is that this guy doesn't seem to be really doing its job. So I'm going to try to bring you in as fast as I can towards over here. There we go. Also we did have the 747 somewhere. You can come in a bit like that. And you gentlemen, I'm going to manually order you back. Good for you. Because it's not acceptable that you go chasing off someplace. So here we go. Back to group, unit view rather, because we want to tell you to go to, let's say, medium altitude. That's fine. And you are going to target the ammo shelter. Good. This guy, we're going to turn on the sensors. Do not obey, do turn that on. Loiter, because we just want to make sure. And actually I think it might make sense for you to go very low, so that you can actually spot something. That might have been a bad idea to do that at night. Which is what I only realize now, which I realize is way too late to actually make a difference. But since we are at it, we are going to tell you to actually allow you to do strafing runs. Yeah, that's fine. So if you are low anyway, you might just as well do that. So I've got this guy. It's going to base. We're going to now manually tell to go to base. These, I believe, are our anti-air weapons, which came in just in time. Now we're going to try to loiter. Spotted anything? So we killed a hawk, which of course is good. Let me just check this guy over here. I think it would be sensible to go there. Just go for speed, please. Whoa. These guys have changed course, which is not good because we are now right in their path. Maybe it's time for you to go a bit quicker. Right, so, hey, you two. So anyway, we hit, our Maverick has hit an eye hawk of SAM battery. That's nice. It's just not necessarily what we want to, right? You can see that this is actually, it's a unit, right? It's a battery. So it does consist of a lot of vehicles. And some stuff is more valuable than others, because these are the things that allow them to spot us, and these are the things that shoot. So we've seen that about, I believe, they must have shot at least 6 missiles, but they do have 18, so even if we are lucky and the last one also had still 3 missiles, we might have only degraded their ability by half. If we had targeted rather their other vehicles, we might be more lucky, but of course it's very different. Pardon me. It's very different. Dude. Okay, so a couple of things are happening. This guy has dropped the bombs, which you can see over here. Time is not moving, that's just an artifact. And he should now be returned to base, which is fine, that's what I want to do. Moreover though, we are being shot at by a missile over here. And we've destroyed one of their other so what did we actually kill? Let's check that. The ANMPQ 51. Range only radar. Yeah, not that great. Had we destroyed 2 of these, that would have been very helpful, because then they would be out of. They would be unable entirely to do that. We're going to go on afterburner at minimum altitude, because I happen to know that. Okay, you don't have to happen to know that. Eyehawks, we looked that up in the database, have a minimum altitude at which they can engage. That is about 1,000 feet. So we want to drop really. really low really soon. And that's what we did. Let's keep an eye on both the bombs and the missile over here. I think you should not be able to engage us now, because we are very, very low. Let's see. That was not it. We were engaged, but our defensive jammer, the probability of 15%, was successful. Of course, we had two. We had the decoy and the active thing, so that's good. And another one. You are way too low. Eyehawks cannot engage that low. Right, we want to be looking at the MIM-23B. Weapon, MIM. This is an extensive list and you can't search it. Really is lovely, isn't it? And it's not linked. What you can do, however, is type. At least get to the correct letter. MIM-23B. Eyehawk. Even if it's the upgrade version over here. Ah, damn it. No, I was wrong. It's 200 feet. At ground level. How high are we? Higher than that. Come on. You need to get much lower, mate. We should be counting missiles as well. Okay, so first four missiles, the first three missiles rather, we actively, or either the Jav or the defensive jammer worked. The fourth missile actually missed because it doesn't have a high probability to hit to begin with, but you're gonna see all the things that go in, right? So it's the agility, it's the weight of the aircraft that basically give a big debuff. And if you remember briefly the AMCOM window over here, the general window over here, there is a jettison ordnance command. So if an aircraft is under attack, they might just drop their bombs and everything right away, so they can disengage more easily or be maneuvering much more easily. Let's have a look over here. The bombs are still falling, and I think we are catching them in the last fraction of a second. So let's resume. Ignore that for now. But the four hits were over here, and we actually missed by quite a bit. Interesting that this contact has been lost. Maybe there was one of the vehicles was just in here. But okay, it's gonna be fine. We knew that these guys were somewhat less likely to hit. But okay. More missiles. Let's see where they are flying. I don't think they have that many more, right? We've seen at least 6 missiles against the harm missiles themselves. Maybe 8 if we consider the one before. So a couple, 4, 12, who were unlucky, so I think they might only have 3, 4 missiles left. Anyway, these guys, we will now unassign the units from, no, we detach, select the units from group. Right, and we now have 4 individual planes instead of an overall flight. and we are going to pick the first of these aircraft. So number 3. Let's go to a cruise. The altitude I think is fine. Your target is going to be this fuel tank. And number 1, so all the odd numbers, it's also going to fly in a bit more quickly. And your target is going to be this ammo pad. Maneuvering over there. You can see how it was just one missile, so I think they might be out. I think we might have been lucky and destroyed only one. By the way, didn't we tell you to be able to strafe? You know what? Let's go home. You had a stressful enough day. So I think it's you're allowed to come back. You guys are chilling over there, which I find lovely. What are you? You are... Oh, yeah, the second strike package, which of course is very great too. We can send at least one of you guys in as well. Come in, please. And continue to do that on lighter speed. I didn't want you to become faster, just I want to see how the first guys are faring. We just missed the launch bit, and you can see that the Paveways do also count as a guided missile, because, or an object in the game in this sense, because yeah, just the way it is. Did you actually drop both? No, you only dropped one, which I also find very interesting. Okay, there's stuff going on at the S-72, which is probably what's going on down here. Yeah, so this is a frigate. Good to know. So we are gonna see the first strike package over here, and actually I'm going to tell you guys to chill again, because these guys only dropped one bomb, right? And they are currently using their loadout basically to illuminate their targets. You can see this illumination pattern over here, and we are gonna see if these two things will blow up very soon. Oh no! One of you actually sent in. So the ammo pad has been destroyed. Maybe because of the better armor. And the fuel depot, which is very lovely indeed. You, I think, are out of bombs, so yeah. Just go home. You, on the other hand, are going to also attack this ammo shelter over here, which I think you should be able to very nicely do. It's going to turn around, then fly in, and that means you can just at armor shelter, yeah. So you destroy the ammo pad, cruise speed. If we're coming in, So I don't know whether these guys are truly out of missiles or whether whether the jamming aircraft now really works. But either way, we're not being fired at anymore, and that's very cool. Just because I'm going to tell you to go there. The way I found this very interesting when I saw that for the first time, that aircraft, and of course it does make perfect sense, right? So they're dropping the bomb in a straight approach, and then turn in and circle the range. So they don't need to overfly it, because why would you? You can just illuminate it sort of to the side. I don't know why I find that funny, but I always sort of consider they're doing it differently. So that looks very nice, and I think we will probably see an explosion that will destroy that very soon. There we go. Nice. Hit. Last one, and I think you also dropped 2 bombs, which I don't quite understand. I mean, it's... oh well, that's fine. Good. Another ammo lost. Great. Which means I will tell you to actually go there and bomb that. You're returning to base? You are. Lovely. So what does that leave us with? Let's briefly switch to group view. I think these are our air superiority guys. I was tempted to go here and attack that as well, but right now that doesn't really seem to be making too much sense, because we are out of anti-radar weapons for now, and that simply means we can't really engage them altogether that well. Here we go. I think you also launched 2 Paveways. Wrong symbol, which we've seen more than once now. So we have this secondary group armed with Paveways, but all on their own. I don't feel it makes sense to attack this position down here, and everything else is of course way out of limits as well. So we are going to probably call these guys back very soon, but not until we actually are pretty sure that everything's fine. However, I'm going to tell them to travel at least away from the operational zone for now, so that our fighters then can disengage as well. What are you doing? Oh, sign Winchester. Yeah, go back to base. Into speed. I think this is the frigate that we saw down there earlier. Engage offensive, yes. You're guiding in the bombs. I'm not sure what you are doing. So the Paveway was hit in the air by one Ihawk, which is interesting because it does mean that the Ihawk is not engaging our bases. Yeah. So everyone go home, please. Mobile. Dr. Falcon. You. Yeah, this is more Ihawk, but I think it's at the other airfield. But it's obviously switching on its craft because we don't know whether, or they don't know rather, where and if we're going anywhere. We'll probably not be able to catch this guy. What are you looking like anyway? Nah. Yeah. We haven't had the greatest experience with this. But so far so good. Are you guys all flying away at the appropriate speed? You are, so that's lovely. Let's see them disengage. And that's excellent. So with this in mind, I think you can actually go home. Also speed up a bit, we're not really fuel constrained. You're gonna go there. And we are going to call off this tanker mission as well. You, I think I'd like to order to, because you're a bit higher on fuel, you're going to go on the tanker mission. So he's going to fly over to there, which I would find very lovely. Our ECM plane over here can stay in the air for a while, I think. It hasn't been as useful as I thought it might be, and probably we have needed to be closer, but that's fine. Anyone else here? I think I'd like you guys maybe to refuel at the last tanker that we do have here, because that will allow us to stay in the mission area. The tanker can go home, it's not quite as wasted, and we can still get our guys to maybe provide some useful air cover over here. Let's just briefly check how things are looking over here. I think there is a flight of 2 that is pretty much there, and I think you should actually refuel from these tankers as well. And there's another flight coming in, and we will tell it to actually, once it's here, to also refuel. Where are you? You are returning to base anyway, so everyone's pretty straightforward in coming home, which I like. Okay, been a bit of a longer episode, but let me know if you like that maybe. So of course, also just generally let me know what you think about the series. I'm still trying to find out a bit where to go with this little channel of mine. So if you do enjoy it, let me know. If you'd like this, whoa. If you'd like to see something else, I'm also very open to that. Next episode we'll definitely gonna have a look at this contact over here. There's an unknown submarine contact right within our group, so that might spell a bit of trouble. So let's see. We are gonna talk. See you again next episode. Thank you guys for watching.